Hey everyone, it's me, Russ Shaw, and this would be my 10 obscura records. Records I'm betting other people don't have, maybe, possibly, in the vinyl community. And this is for TKR's channel, his push to 200 subscribers, which he has more than double surpassed that now. This has been a wild contest that's going on. It might even be over. I don't know. I may be late. I know I'm late to the show. Vinyl Richie had went ahead and called me out as someone he'd like to see. In one of his previous videos, Richie shared this album in one of his videos about bands from San Francisco. And my wife and I just saw this band recently. Also, he's from and wearing a shirt from, at least, the town where my wife was born. So the strange Vinyl Richie connections. But vinyl community, people you meet, is interesting. So this is an amazing record. This is not one of them, although, and I know Vinyl Richie has it, so there you go. Also, I'm gonna share something about this shirt that's actually, this is an obscure shirt that I'm betting no one else has. Possibly. If you do, let me know, but I'm betting you don't. So 10 obscure records, gonna try and go through those rather quickly. This is one, my wife ordered this for me. This is, did you get this for my birthday? I can't remember, or just get it because it's cool.
I think I just got it for you.
Thank you, by the way. Because we were looking for this and I couldn't find it. This is Jim Brewer. For those of you who don't know, he was a Saturday Night Live alum. He's a comedian, but he also likes to rock. He does a lot of impressions of other rock stars and stuff, and actually made an album. There's a song on here called Old School, which is really good. That old school hard rock music for me. I'm trying not to edit this too much. I feel like I want to share like a snippet.
I want that old school whip, driven hard rock music for me.
This record actually freaking rocks, man. For a comedian putting together a band called Rough and Rowdy. Brian Johnson of AC/DC is also on this record in a couple of tracks. Mr. Rock and Roll and My Rock and Roll Dream. And so, yeah, Ultimate Classic Rock reported that, and it was like they did an interview. In this track, so Jim Brewer has been doing impressions of Brian Johnson for years. And, you know, they joke around and he does these impressions of Brian. And while they were cutting the record and putting that track together, there was at one point where three of the guys in the booth weren't sure if it was Jim or Brian singing. Even Brian himself is going, is that me or is that you, right? I thought that was a fascinating. Songs from the Garage. Does anybody have this record? I'd love to know if you, I mean, that's just a good song. I don't care who you are. Love this record. Here's one. I've shared this before. Kind of obscure. There's only 2,500 of these made on vinyl. This was a record store day release here in the Seattle area, I think on the West Coast. Grunt Truck, signed by the surviving members of the band. Not only that, but the woman in the picture, she was there and signed this too. This is a great record. If you don't know Grunt Truck, you gotta look them up. Put them in your streamer. Just some great Seattle grunge rock stuff. This record came out in 1992. Was recorded on 2-inch tape back in the day, right here in the Seattle area. Here's one I've shared before also, but it is a rare record. This is Screeching Weasel. It's not the CD. This is the vinyl. This is released in 92 as well, I believe, but I don't know if I can share that. That's the guy naked on the back there. It's art, man. Share David, right? And share the Screeching Weasels. But yeah, we'll see if that gets flagged or something. No Budget Productions, 1992. Lookout Records. All right, so that's another one. Screeching Weasel, something, I think it's a punk band that a lot of us know. Another San Francisco punk band. Berkeley, I believe is where those guys are from. I have some CDs too that I'm going to share, so you're gonna have to deal with that. I mean, he said CDs and I think physical media, so I'm gonna share. But vinyl again. IE. This is a band we also saw. These guys opened for Toiling Midgets when we saw that show Saturday evening before we picked up our son at the airport, right? So this was a great band. I got to show you the wax on this one too. It's pretty cool how they, right? It's like a marbly kind of yellow. How they did that. It came with the liner notes and everything. You know, lyrics and all that. I think I shared that on the last video. But yeah, I want to give IE. They're also they went to Tacoma with Toiling Midgets, opening for them. The band was still there. I wanted them to sign it, but I had left it in the car. So this was an opening band, and I just went and put it in the car because I'm not going to carry an LP around this place. It was like really small. We didn't have a select seating, right? Everybody was standing. So I just went and put this in the car, and then I didn't want to, you know, go back and leave the show. So here's something obscure, and it's not like a rare record as much, right? This came out in the 80s. It's Ozzy Osbourne's Bark at the Moon. But I'm betting that no one has this copy. I'm betting that this is the only copy out there like it. It is from the Seattle Public Library. Somebody, didn't you find this at a thrift store or a garage sale or something?
Something like that, yeah.
It was warped really bad, and I actually cooked it in our oven at like 200 degrees, and I put 2 pieces of tile on it to level it out, and it actually plays. It doesn't sound half bad. It's scratchy, but you found it at a thrift store, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but yeah, it's still, and here's the cool part, is it still got the card in the front right here. Look at that.
Does it say what library?
It says Seattle Public Library. Yeah. That is October 9th, 1984 is when it's due. It's a bit overdue. Just a little bit. But yeah, Seattle Public Library. Is that the original? This is the original address. There's a few libraries in Seattle. Magnolia Branch, right there. There it is. Magnolia Branch. But if you ever come to Seattle, you go downtown and see the library. It is a fascinating building. A bunch of architects like to see it. It's sort of a tourist draw, but it was built by .com money from back in the day. So, Seattle Public Library edition of Ozzy Osbourne's Bark at the Moon. My favorite song on here is Rock and Roll Rebel. I don't have time to tell you why, but I'll tell you someday. Through this quickly. So, this band right here, my son has entered the room, by the way. He's in the audience. This band here is called Supportive Parents. And check out that cover, right? It's a garbage bag, like a 13-gallon garbage bag with the red ties on it, with a jacket around it. And the name of the album is called Fuck It Whatever. But this is a really good punk band, and I like the songs. I actually made like a mixtape kind of thing and sent it out to a few people. There's a song on here called Sell Your Soul with Matt Brown, featuring Matt Brown. And it's about like our addiction to cell phones nowadays, which is kind of cool and fun. The way I know about this band is I was an Uber driver in the city for 5 years, and I picked up this guy at Boeing, the big Boeing company that makes the big airplanes here in Everett, and drove him to the airport. And it wasn't until halfway through the ride we started talking about punk rock, and he's like, dude, I'm in a punk band. Like, we didn't really have anything to say to each other for half this trip until it was almost over. And then we started talking about punk rock, and he gave me this CD, and I'm a big fan now. So does anybody have or have heard of Supportive Parents? I believe they're from the Midwest. I'm thinking Michigan that he was from, or something like that. But yeah, he was not from here, but worked for the Boeing company. Here's one we found in our mystery box of CDs. We got 25 for $25. We got 200 CDs, and this was in it. It's Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett. Some of you may have the vinyl. If anybody has this on vinyl, I'm like jelly, because this would be cool. I don't know if it was a record store day thing or what. Tony Bennett is a legend. Lady Gaga. I mean, those two coming together. We gave that a spin. It was marvelous, to use a Tony Bennett word. This band we saw live too. I got the CD. Actually, this guy gave me like 4 or 5 of these because I was doing some podcasting at the time, and he's like, "Hey, yeah, this is punk theology thing." Anyway, Comedy of Terrors is the name of this band. Anybody out there? They have a series. I think they're from California. They have quite a discography, and I looked them up on Spotify, and they have a slew of monthly listeners. Back to Toiling Midgets. Boom, got this CD at the show we just went to. This is the one with all the like 3 guys from Germany. One guy had never been in the US before, and he was on this tour. I think it was a bass player. It was like his first time in the United States, and it was really cool. This is Toiling Midgets. It's an EP. It's got 3 songs on it. It is incredible. I like it a lot. The energy of that band was really good. Now here's one that's pretty cool for any of you Thrice fans. The band Thrice. Anybody? You guys know Thrice? If you don't, you may have, this was a Record Store Day release. Thrice is a pretty big alternative band. Early 2000s, late 90s.
Like all the pretty others.
Black Honey is a really cool song off that record, and you should look it up. Anyway, so Dustin Kensrue, this is a solo album by him, and what's interesting about this, I'm betting no one has it, you may have it out there, but it's by Mars Hill Music. So this is the church I used to go to. They had a different way of doing music back in the day.
I assemble like best guys I know, and we just do this like just craziest live service ever for Good Friday. Like one of the things.
The church is a place of arts. It has been for centuries. It kind of lost that with a lot of this popular Christianity and all this, this weird cultural stuff. Mars Hill did not do music like that and kind of scoffed at popular Christian music. So if you wanted to play music in the church, you had to start a band. True story, in Seattle. And if you were good enough, they would let you play on stage. There was a number of bands. 3 of these bands are still popular today. Citizens, King's Kaleidoscope.
Along with Team Strike Force, you had a band like Red Letter.
Escaping me, but anyway, Dustin became involved with Mars Hill and made this little EP. Mars Hill Music was absorbed by Tooth and Nail Records, who is the label for MXPX, by the way. 90 Pound Wuss, my friend Jeff Becker was in that band. And yeah, not churchy kind of music. A lot of old hymns that are done in, like alternative rock kind of ways. But this is a really cool part of my CD collection that I cherish. Interesting, cool artwork on the inside. And Dustin Kensrue. Okay, so my Ozzy Osbourne shirt. This is, I got this from Ozzy.com. And what's obscure about it is the dates on the back. These dates on the back never, some of them happened. Did any of them happen? I'm not sure if any of them actually ever happened. So I got this shirt for like $10 off Ozzy's website. They're just clearing them out because Ozzy had to cancel. He got, had to have surgery and had to cancel a bunch of shows and interesting stuff. So this is a very one of a kind of a shirt. However many they made before they said stop. Ozzy has surgery. Stop making those shirts. Thanks for watching. That is my entry for 10 obscure albums for TKR. TKR. I've entered And I would also like to see, I don't know, Sean Spins do one, whether it's a thread or a contest entry, whatever you'd like to. Ben over there in Australia, I'd like to see him do it. My friend here in the Northwest, Flat, Round, and Spun over there in Puyallup. I think he's got probably some pretty cool, obscure records as well. So with that, I leave you, and good night, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Comment, like, subscribe, do whatever you want, or don't. I'm not going to tell you what to do, although I just did. Bye.